I'd like to introduce the creator of the Ruby language, Matz.
Good morning. Yeah. Every year I got nervous. Okay. It is said that TPO is very important. And TPO in TPO is occasion. Here's Keynote. According to the dictionary, the definition of the Keynote is a speech as at the political convention that present important issues, principles, policies, etc. Give me a break. I am a mere programmer who invented the language. Actually, it's a great language. But accidentally. but that's life. So let's start the Keynote. So Keynote has several aspects, good part and bad part. The good part of the Keynote is the first at the conference. I can enjoy the rest of the conference. Yeah. The bad part is the first at the conference. I have less time to prepare, so you have to endure. Okay. The P in the TPO is place here in New Orleans. And I came from the city named Matsumoto, which is in Japan, of course. My hometown. And you know that New Orleans and city of Matsumoto is sister cities. What a coincidence. And any locals among you? Okay, thank you. Okay, next week, Mayor of Matsumoto City is visiting the New Orleans. So I asked him, from him, to say hi from him. So say good rigor. Okay, T in TPO is time. In the year 2011, and we are having the 11th Ruby conference. The first Ruby conference was held in October 12, from October 12 to 14th in 2001, right after the 9/11 in Tampa, Florida. And who among you guys attended the first RubyConf? Here, there. Of course, me. And so it's 11th Ruby conference. Well, we have 11. And it's first Ruby conference in the second decade. Or you can say that it's 10th anniversary of Ruby, history of the Ruby conference. So it's a good chance to beat the world. And year 2011, this year, I got a new position in Heroku. Do you see that? Did you see that my position? Chief Architect Ruby. Okay, let me explain the background of this new position. At the end of the last year, the Salesforce.com acquires Heroku.com. What? Salesforce.com? I've heard that company, but you know, it's kind of like a enterprisey something. So I considered that company was nothing related to us, the open source and the web and Ruby. But in the announcement of the acquisition, the Marc Benioff, who is the CEO of the Salesforce company.com, Salesforce.com, and he said, Ruby is the language of the cloud too. By his definition, cloud 2 is the next generation cloud or something like that. Well, yeah, I felt very good, but with to be said good about my language. And then 6 months later, the Salesforce.com made a the alliance with the Toyota company. It is called, the project is named Toyota Friend, which is kind of like the socialize your automated car or something like that. And then he visited Japan to announce that alliance, and in last May. And I met him in person. And they invited me to attend and be a guest speaker for the developer conference. And when we met, the Marc Benioff said, "Ruby is great." Yeah, I know, of course. And he said, yeah, it's kind of surprising for me, but I wanted to help Ruby, just because the Salesforce is the company highly depends on cloud, and Ruby is very good at web stuff and said cloud, so he wanted to help Ruby to encourage and enhance the industry of the cloud. So they wanted to help me as the language of the cloud age. So that's good things. And he said, "I want to hire you." What? And I consider that it's kind of the joke or the flattering or something like that. But the next week the guy in the Salesforce.com contacted me, and the proven they are very serious. And I got a title from Heroku and a payment from Salesforce.com. I chose the title of the Chief Architect Ruby as the least business-ish title. They offered me as some kind of the Chief Technology Officer or something like that, but okay, give me a break. I don't want to do any business stuff. So as a Chief Architect Ruby in Heroku.com, I will keep working on Ruby core development, as I have done for a long time. And they didn't ask me anything new, except attending their Dreamforce conference. And I'm sorry. Last month, I attended the Dreamforce conference. I was in the Moscone Center, and 40,000 attendees. It was quite different world. I saw quite different world in the software industry, but it's quite impressive. But I have been working full time for a long time. For more than 10 years, I was hired by the company named NCL, with the official name is the Network Applied Communication Laboratory, which is so long. We call it the NCL or NetLab. So my financial situation has been improved by dual income, but hiring me do not accelerate development that much. I'm working full time. I don't have any more than 24 hours per day. So, but we want to accelerate with development. We want to. So we are going to form a team of full-time commuters. So as beginning, we hired a full-time commuter, Nobuyoshi Nakata, which we call Nob, and also known as Patch Monster. And yeah, he has worked for Ruby so much in the past history for last 6 years. And as a freelance programmer, he works his day job. He had worked his job, and he contributed Ruby for a long time. And actually, sometimes he emphasize too much on Ruby development, and his situation might be sometimes trouble-ish. So being hired by the Heroku, the situation become much better, I believe, and I think he does not need to worry about, and especially his family, lovely wife and daughters, do not have to worry about the financial situation any longer. And he's been the #1 committer for a long time. See that graph? The black one is my contribution, number of patches. But in the year 2008 or something, he surpassed me. So he contributed more than myself. And the recent months, the red line on the top is his contribution, and mine is somewhere in the bottom. So yeah, his contribution is so great. So he's #1. So I think you can expect more patches from now. So he fixed every bug in 1.9. He must be here. Could you stand up? Where he is? He's sleeping. Huh? He's late. Oh, here he is. Raise your hand. And I think more to come if budget allows. Okay, that business. But I welcome more companies to hire co-committers, just because I don't want to Heroku.com to give impression that the company is taking over the community or the development. But every other player, like many Ruby, there are so many Ruby companies, and if the budget allows, so many companies, including Heroku or other companies, hire co-committers, and then, if possible, allow them to work full-time on the Ruby development to accelerate the development and the evolution of the language. I've already contacted the engineer. And then, yeah, and they said they considered it very positively, so I'm expecting. Okay, next topic. In the year 2011, we have been working on the standard of the language for the last 3 years. And this year, we submitted, and then we established the open public standard in JIS, Japanese Industry Standard, which is named the JIS-X 3017, which is officially publicly available standard of the language. And since the JIS is the fast-track organization for the ISO, so we have already submitted it. And recently we had a vote in the ISO, and the result was a 20 versus 0, 24 and 0 against. Whoa. And but we got a few comments, so we have to update the standards, the description, and resubmit it. So if everything works fine, it's kind of political in a standard definition. But if everything goes right, so in the year 2012, we will have the ISO Ruby. You know that? Whoa. But it's not fixed yet. The standard describes the subset of the language. Just because when we start the definition of the language as a standard, So we were still in the 1.8 age, 1.8 age. So it's quite difficult for us to choose 1.9 as a standard body. So it should be the 1.8 compatible to both 1.8 and 1.9. But the difference between 1.8 and 1.9 is so huge. So we in the standard description we have to leave so many implementation defined things. But it's just the beginning. And the standard definition should be the platform independent. So we didn't define any fork or threads or something. So JRuby, Rubinius, Ruby, CRuby can conform the standard. But it's still incomplete. So we are working on the newer version of the standard. So, and we expect better coverage of the specification. And we are planning to move to 1.9 or 2.0, whatever we call. And the reason behind the standard is mostly the business reliability. Recent years, the Japanese companies started accepting Ruby finally, but the Japanese IT industry is very conservative comparing to the startup companies in the States. They are dominated by the huge companies like the NTT or Fujitsu or many big companies. But they are very conservative and very late to take risk. But after seeing the huge success in Ruby and Ruby on Rails, so they are gradually accepting Ruby on Rails in Japanese IT industries. But since they are very conservative, they are very nervous about using new technology. So it's the standard. The original motivation of the defining standard is the reducing that kind of the anxiety for the executives in the huge companies, especially in Japan. But also, it helps the alternative implementations like Ruby, JRuby, and Rubinius, and Maglev, and so many other the alternative implementations. We have Ruby spec as the executable spec, and a standard Ruby, ISO Ruby for human readable spec. So we can work together to make them better in both ways. Okay, next topic. The year 2011, the world has been taken over the machines. It's kind of joke, but we have a lot of PCs among the world. We have a lot of supercomputers. We have mobile phones. We have game consoles everywhere. And the recent days, the vehicles are full of computers. Like the modest vehicle has, 5, 6 the controllers in it. And the Prius, which is, it is totally controlled by the computers. And in the factories, the computer control the vehicles are combined with the computer controls the robots. And we see robots in home. And we see humanoid robots. Or even more human-like. This robot is developed by the Japanese laboratory and to act as a supermodel computer robot. They are very serious. Anyway, they are all driven by computers. And the computers need software. The software ratio in systems is increasing very drastically. And the software should be written by us, humans, in programming language. There are so many programming languages in the world. But what we love most is, you know that? Ruby. But what is Ruby? What is Ruby? The Ruby is, Ruby, not the Java Ruby, but this Ruby, our Ruby, has kind of multiple definition. The Ruby has good in the syntax. Yeah, Ruby has good, nice syntax. The programs appears simpler in Ruby, but in fact, the Ruby syntax is very complex, though. But it has nice syntax. But syntax is not the only part of the good aspect of the Ruby language. The Ruby's philosophy is very important. So making programmers happier. This is very fundamental philosophy, and this is very important for us. This is one of the reasons we love Ruby. But it's not the only reason. Ruby, the library, come along with Ruby, or gems. So a few years back, we had complained about the lack of libraries for the language. The PHP has that library, Python has that library, Perl has CPAN. But in these days, we have Ruby gems. We have, 20,000? So many Ruby gems. So we don't have to worry about the lack of libraries any longer. And then last but not least is the Ruby community. The Ruby community is so great, so great. I believe in the community. I believe in you. I believe in you to choose the best technology. I believe you to focus on the effectiveness in programming or the productivity in programming. So, as a whole, Ruby would like to help more developers. So, for example, JRuby. Yeah, JRuby is great just because the Ruby for Java, JVM platform. So, if there were only C Ruby, there's no way to reach the Java world. But with JRuby, the Java people can use the effectiveness or the productivity of the language. Or Roboto. Roboto is the JRuby port to the Android platform. So you can run the JRuby on Android phones. Or Rose, you know that? Rose is the platform to build the mobile phone application, which is kind of based on the MVC model and very easy to write the simple, not game, but simpler mobile phone application on Android and iPhone, and iPad, and the BlackBerry, or other devices. So if you write the application on one device, you can port it to the other device very easily. So they allow Ruby to work on mobile phones. And of course we have original C Ruby, then leading the community and leading the technology. And then we soon to have the Ruby 193. We recently released the 193 release candidate 1, which is done by the Yugui. She's a tremendous work for the make the 193 to be the best release in the history of the Ruby release. Well, and I believe the keywords for the future is the cloud and mobile. For cloud, we have many technologies on top of Ruby, like Heroku or Engineer. So Engineer is so successful to see the Veronica Belmont in the office. See Dr. Nick's face. He's very glad to have her in the office. But for mobile, like small devices, the digital appliances, mobile phones, vehicles, robots. So Ruby is not available for them. So I'd like to address these fields. Yeah, as Lua does now. Lua is a language from Brazil. It's quite interesting programming language. And it's very strong in some kind of embedding field and the gaming field. So yeah, I confess that I'm so envy to the language. So I started the mRuby. mRuby stands for the Mass Embeddable Minimal Implementation Ruby language. And the write VM as a core. Write VM, I explained about the write VM last year. And with minimal standard libraries, embeddable C APIs, incremental GC, which allows the software time. And it has the parser to generate the abstract syntax tree separately. And the CodeGen, the module, to convert the abstract syntax tree to bytecode. And the write VM to run bytecode. It has the 32-bit instructions, and the instructions are serializable, so that you can write the compiled instructions to binary files or C files. I don't mean that it compiles the program to C, but compiles the instructions in the C array in a sequence of the numbers. And it's entirely written in C99 for all imaginable platforms like Linux, Windows, macOS, Android, iOS, VxWorks, which the many robots run, iTron, or even non-OS platform, as I explained last year. The difference? This year, it works. So I gotta show you a little quick demo. Yeah, simple Mandelbrot calculation. It goes like this. Okay, here it is. Where's the mouse pointer? Yeah, here it is. I got a small program to calculate the Mandelbrot set and run on 1.8, 1.9, and mRuby. Yeah, but you don't have to read them. They're I'm going to show you the character, the graph. You will see. Okay, 1.8. 1 is a little bit faster. See that? See that? Okay, mRuby goes like this. You want to see again? 1.8, 1.9, and mRuby. Oh, real quick. But I don't claim that mRuby runs faster than 1.8, 1.9. It's in this particular program, the mRuby runs faster than 1.9. But anyway, it runs. mRuby is very young, and it's very small, and it's weak. Yeah, this program runs, but many other programs don't run. Just because it has so many bugs. But mRuby has possibility, huge possibility. Can you imagine that? We can have the small Ruby interpreter in mobile devices. or robots. The Ruby to control robots, or factory robots, or Terminator, or digital appliance. These days, the digital appliance, like high-def TV, is kind of like a PC. It has CPU, memory, operating system, hard disk drive, and the GUI menus. It's totally driven by software. So the people in the appliance company invest so much on developing software in C or C++. But the programmers in the company hate to program in C++, just because they are so huge and they're so complex. But if they can program in Ruby, their life should be much happier. Or games. The gaming industry has using Lua, or they sometimes create their own programming language in half-baked homebrew programming language. But if the real programming language or better programming language is available, they should be very happy. Like they can use Ruby instead of Lua. Or server side. So in the server side, if the Ruby interpreter that uses less memory, so it would allow the more programs run on server side. So you can use the Ruby. You can use Ruby instead of Node.js or JavaScript. So it should be one big step to rule the world. So there's no perfect programming language, so I don't claim that Ruby is perfect. But we like to provide choices. So I'm not expecting the world to have the only true programming language, Ruby. But there should be programming language like Java. Java would not be vanished, or C++ would not be vanished, and even PHP would not be vanished. But we like to provide choices. If they want it, they can choose Ruby. I'd like to have a world like that. So in the web world or cloud world, we have choices. That everyone in the world can choose Ruby if they wanted to, if they really wanted to, unless some kind of pointy-headed boss forced them to use Java. But they are free to quit. And but in the mobile world, or the client side, or some other field, gaming field, so many programmers has no choice, even when they want. They have no freedom to choose Ruby. So I'd like to provide them a freedom to choose Ruby if they really want to, and make the world happier. So, and I want to make every programmer feels happy, as I feel right now. Thank you.